What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Professor and the Samp. Ladies and gentlemen, we were away for a couple weeks. Unfortunately, things happen, health happens. Professor Bear, before I go into my amazing introduction, how are you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling better. Rough last couple of weeks, but I'm on the other side of it, and thank the Lord for that.
There you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bobby Sampson, and sitting beside me, the one and only. Oh man, I wish I had music in the background right now. I want to get on my drum kit behind me and just start. I have the master of the jungle. Now, the master of the jungle has been sitting in its cave dealing with some, little things here and there. But you know what? When I noticed when I walked through the forest, no bear fucked around, man. No animal messed around. Everyone stayed in their lane because they knew that if you got wind of any of it, they'd all be in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, the master of all the wildlife, Professor Bear. How are you?
Thank you, man. Just looking forward to talking about some more wrestling, man.
Well, let's get into it, man. Last night on Monday Night Right now, we know we do have AEW All In, but we're going to get to that a little bit later. But we want to talk about the things that we saw in the last couple days in the world of professional wrestling. One being, I'm going to start with this one on Monday Night Raw last night. Now, Raw started early. It started at 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. I chose not to watch it live because I was busy with the little one. And, as much as I love wrestling, there's only one thing I love more than wrestling, and that's the little one,
Of
right?
course.
So the little one had some activities. We had to deal with that. And the beauty of Netflix, again, this is where it makes it easy. We can watch wrestling at a later time. That being said, we were watching wrestling at the regular time that Raw was supposed to be on. And I got a notification on my phone. And thankfully, it didn't say nothing. It just said major heel turn happened tonight. That's all I got. That's a headline. I didn't click it. I didn't know who it was. So little Miss and myself, we're watching the show like, oh, is this going to happen here? We thought, okay, maybe it's going to be Dragon Lee when he lost to Ray Phoenix. Nope, didn't happen there. I thought, okay, you put him up on the shoulders. He was going to do a hurricanrana or do something, right? Nothing happened.
Right.
Okay, well, who's going to turn heel? The show keeps going and going and going. And then we get to the main event. I'm thinking, oh, please don't make it solo. Please don't turn solo heel because he's doing such great work right now. This would be, I know some people might get angry, a Tony Khan move. I'll call it that, right? Like, you're taking something that's actually working and you're going to flip it. Well, you could call it a Triple H move too now, man, based on some of his track record as well, right? Let's be fair. It didn't happen. How comes Royce Key with OBM? Now, people who don't know who OBM is, they're this big menacing team from NXT. Nobody knew they were coming up. And now we have a whole different angle that we have to deal with. Who are the good guys and who are the bad guys now? They beat the shit out of everyone. And they looked more heelish than all of them.
I I was so confused because bad enough because you don't know who's supposed to be the heel, who's supposed to be the face, but then O OTM, they are not only on NXT,
They're
they're on
in AAA.
AAA, and now they're on the main roster, and I'm like, what the hell? Can look, there's not enough time for your whole roster. Bad enough, then you're letting people jump from three different shows, and none of it really kind of makes sense. I I I just don't. I don't know. And like you always tell me, you always say, "Bird, give it a chance." So I'm trying to give it a chance before I crap all over it.
Which is
But
why I've been pretty, subtle in my take on it all, because here's Royce Keys. Obviously, he's the guy who turned heel. Okay. Uh, and I think he's a better heel than he is a face personally, just based on Powerhouse Hobbs and whatnot. I think that works better for him. But how does this all tie in? Now you got four or five different, if this was the TVA, which is from the Marvel universe, who controls the timeline's being split in 15 different directions after last night.
Oh yeah. I-
Now, are they doing this to see what sticks and what they're going to go with? Are they throwing everything at the wall? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it, and again, I have to give it time because it happened at the end of the show. So I need to
well,
see where they're going to go with it.
well, a couple of things I immediately bounced in my head. One, okay, you bring an OTM up so you'll have a tag team, another tag team.
Mm,
I'm totally okay with that. Um, you're giving Royce Keys a backup, and so he can have his own faction. I'm okay with that, but this kind of reminds me of when when the original Nation of Domination broke up, and then you had the splinter groups from there, and it's
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What?
no, hey, I get you, Bear. I feel like they're scattering. They're trying to throw everything at the wall to see if it works. Now, do you think bringing OTM in was the right move? Because I mean, you still have the Street Profits there too. What are you doing with them? It's just like they seem to kind of show up and have a little quick run, and then they're gone again, right? Where have they gone? Like Seth left, they left. What happened to
He
that storyline?
he's chilling with his wife and the new baby.
No, no, I appreciate that,
No,
but at the same time, it's you can't kill that momentum.
well, see that this goes back to what I always say when people holler about, well, AEW don't have any no storylines. It doesn't make sense. Explain to me how this makes sense.
It doesn't make sense right now, Baron. I completely agree with you. But like you said, as I always say, I got to see what the next step is before we know,
Right.
right?
But
We're reacting on pure instinct and we're reacting on what we saw without anything else to see.
right.
But we're
No,
also incorporating all our knowledge and everything that we know about the business to see why this doesn't make sense in our eyes.
right. But this is the and I guess where my thought is not necessarily knocking what they're doing.
Mm,
It's saying patience with one company to the next, because the same argument that most people will use for a company, well, I don't like this company for A, B, and C. Then they turn around, happens to the company they like. They can justify it. My thing is be equal in your likes or dislikes.
okay, okay,
Just not, not
and I completely agree with you, but I will answer your question this way. The one thing that does separate the two companies is this. Yes, they're doing the same kind of bullshit stuff right now, but I will give the edge to WWE. At least they explain it. They explain it. We'll get an explanation for this. We'll get an understanding of what this is supposed to be. That's what I believe. I because it's happened. I've seen it that way in the last little while. I could be wrong, maybe, and the look on your face is telling me I might be wrong. But I believe that's the case here. Like at least WWE gives us an explanation at some point. Whereas we just get the match and then next week it's something else on the other side without any explanation.
I will say this
Hmm.
is how I don't think that a lot of people, and this is either side. Again, we know I like AEW.
Yeah.
We know I like WWE, but there are certain things that happen that people will say this doesn't make sense. Well, have you been watching the entire product? Because
No.
a lot of times we don't see certain things, it won't make sense to us.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
get that. But if you're going to continue having that argument, watch everything.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard. It's hard to watch everything because it's like 2,000 different shows for
No,
everybody.
no, we know that, man. We have to pick and choose. But hey, let's move on here because there's something that
Yes.
I saw last night that I knew I loved, but I didn't realize how much I needed it, man. And I'm talking about that devil kiss. Stephanie Vaquer came back to the ring, her first match since WrestleMania. She looked great. I saw the devil's kiss, and I didn't realize how much I needed the devil's kiss. And the inner Samp told me, I wonder what the reverse devil's kiss would feel like. And I throw that out here right now because I want to see if Mrs. Samp is listening. Tell me you don't want to feel the reverse devil kiss, Bear. Come on, guy.
I love my wife, and I know my wife watches my shows.
I appreciate that. So we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Um, but yeah, man, Stephanie's back. And that's another interesting storyline right here. Where's Becky and Stephanie fit in all of this? You know what I mean? Like you got these two faces probably gonna have a little tag team run here together, doing something, this and that, because now Becky's saying you owe me 2 times, sort of a deal. So you got the veteran and Becky Lynch, blah blah blah. Here we go. Like, what do we get from this? And when are we going to see Liv defend this title again? You got 2
2 weeks.
people chasing her heavily, man. You got to defend it sooner than
She's
not
she's defended it in 2 weeks
at Sunday
against.
night's main event.
No, this is Monday night.
Oh, on Monday night. So she's going to be defending it on the show. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Avery Styles has joined TNA. Didn't take him too long to jump from the Indies into a promotion.
Well, here's one of the nice things about it. He's still doing indie stuff.
No, I get it.
And I was gonna say because he will actually be in Knoxville next month again.
Make sure to go check him out, man, if you can.
Oh yeah, definitely will.
Now, is he? They're not even hiding the nepotism with this one, are they? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. The guy's talented. He's working his way up the ladder. He's doing what he's supposed to do, but they're not hiding it in any way.
Honestly, why should they?
No, I'm not arguing it. I'm just
no, and the reason I say it like that is because you have people who are pissed that he's getting opportunities they're not.
Exactly why I bring it up. Like that guy with the ring.
And my thing is this: your talents, your true talents will show. And if he gets a boost because of his name, why do you worry about it?
Well, one can argue, Bear. Sorry, one can argue that his dad paid all the dues already. Avery, but Avery indirectly has paid his dues through that process as well. How many birthdays did his dad miss? How many events did his dad miss? How many things did his dad wasn't there for that maybe he needed him there for because of his dad's schedule, being on the road, being in Japan, being all over the independent scene until he finally came to the WWE and had a bit of a foundation that he could rest on. Isn't that a form of paying dues?
No.
Okay.
Because if that's the case, you can use that with any wrestler that is a part of wrestling. All of them miss days and time with their family. So that doesn't give their kid an automatic pass of not having to pay their dues. It's
so
not the same.
Do you think Avery's wrong in not taking down the ring or being participant in that part of the activities? Because I've never asked you this question, Bear, but I've taken down many a ring, and I'm not even a performer. I just wanted to pay my dues. So I had earned the right to be backstage and do the things that I was able to do down there. Right.
Yeah.
So,
I feel the same way. As much as I have a lot of access to going to different shows, getting to talk to performers and everything, I've never once been backstage. I don't feel like I've earned the right to go backstage. There are certain things that I feel that doesn't give me access to the rights because I'm not one of the boys or girls. So that's just the respect in us. Now, if Avery feels like he doesn't have to do that stuff, that's on him. But when you have that type of mentality, do not be surprised on what comes from it. You can earn people's respect and show that just because my dad is one of the greatest performers of the last 30 years doesn't mean I'm not willing to get my hands dirty and do what I need to do to prove that I'm one of the boys, not his son. That's his choice. And again, don't come crying later when you're doing an interview and people don't give me the respect, but or they call me a nepo. Well, you're acting like one. So you chose that, not them.
So in a way, Avery's creating his own quicksand that he could sink into at some point. Not maybe not now, but down the road.
Yeah, I believe so. Again, I don't give a damn who's your father. I don't care who your mother is. You have to pay dues. And again, not everybody pays the dues the same way. Not every talent has to go through the independent to become a great star. Not every person has to, but you do have dues to pay. And you have to be respectful of way other people came up and do things, even if you don't want to or even respect it. Respect the process because is you're working with so many different people. Not everybody's gonna like you, not everybody's gonna respect you, but you can work towards having at least a little respect from people, even if they don't like you. It's a bunch of podcasters I don't particularly care for, but I do have respect, and I'm respectful enough to keep their name out of my mouth. I'm respectful enough not to talk crap about them, and I'm respectful enough to let them live in their own bubble. And I hope they do the same.
Fair enough. And here in Professor the Samp, we respect everybody's mama and dada. Just putting it out there,
Exactly.
right? We don't care where you guys came from, but we respect everybody. We're just gonna leave it at that. All right. So what is going on with Sami Zayn? I bring him up again because this guy just doesn't go away, man. I mean, is this by design now? Like, is this truly by design to keep him relevant? Because I think the inevitable is going to happen. WrestleMania, Sami Zayn, Saudi Arabia. Are we going to get that pop again? Is this why they're keeping him in this? Because there's no need for him now. We talk about things becoming redundant or overdone. Sammy just being there, and it's great work. I'm not taking anything away from it, but how much more are we going to deal with this guy? Like,
I think they had to switch gears because he legitimately broke his hand.
yeah,
And they're wanting to keep him in the loop.
yeah.
Uh, Again, you always got that Kevin and Sammy dynamic that they will continuously go back to.
Oh, they've
Um,
already set it up, haven't they?
oh yeah, yeah. Um, the only reason why I'm not tired of it is because, like Drew McIntyre, I believe he's 100% right. He's gotten screwed. There's been no justice for him. Every time he's supposed to get a one-on-one, something always comes up. They throw something in it. And it's it, it's a storyline that I can relate to
Mm,
and agree with. That's
yeah,
why for me it's like, no, I ain't tired of it. Because just like with Drew McIntyre, he may have been irritating, but he wasn't lying. And
true.
and and they love to take that and throw it in people's face to make them the bad guy. But it's like, how are
We
they the bad guy?
because they're telling the truth, and I get that, right? We live in that kind of a world. But I almost feel, and yeah, I'm glad you brought up Drew because I think this would be a great opportunity for Drew to come back. If we're talking about all these guys, this and that, I mean, we saw what happened over at Raw with Royce Keys and all that stuff. At what point do you think Roman's going to want to pull Sammy back in? That's another thing to think about, right? Because right now he's got no, like, literally, I think all the Bloodline guys went solo. They didn't talk about it, but they're all living on Raw now. They're not on SmackDown anymore,
Yeah.
right? They're all gone to Raw. So, and even Royce Keys, is he now a Raw guy, or do we bring him back to SmackDown? I mean, it's just one of those things. And if that's the case, now Drew needs to come back and you partner up with Sammy. You both have the same gripes. You both have the same thing. And we haven't seen
Yeah,
Drew since WrestleMania.
yeah.
So change it up, I'm saying. If you want to continue with the storyline, add a different dynamic, then give me something else because I'm getting bored of Sammy. I'm sorry. He's doing such a good job that I'm getting sick of it now, which means he's doing the right stuff.
And the same thing I feel about LA Knight. It's like, oh my God, you just in the same crown. When have you won anything? Every time you have a match, you lose a big one, but you still gonna beat Roman. Man, nobody cares about you. Yeah,
Well, I think the best thing about LA right now is Solo Sikoa. He's probably the
yes.
best thing happening in WWE, if not wrestling. Some could argue. What Solo's doing right now, I wanted to wear my Pew Pew shirt today, but I chose, you know, a David Banner and Lou Ferrigno. I have a Pew Pew shirt. I have two, one with a rabbit and one with a cat, right? Like, and I have those shirts before. I'll wear it next week. I will wear the Pew Pew shirt next week,
Love it, love it.
right? I mean, just he's doing great work. So we'll go from there. But listen, that's WWE. They got nothing kind of going on until Sunday night's main event from Atlanta. I don't know why we have us. I guess this is something they got to fill the airwaves with because they have nothing going on until September, right?
Yeah, and it's Memorial
Money
Day.
in the Bank, right? So we got Money in the Bank. I'll be honest. I'm glad that they moved Money in the Bank later in the year, opposed to the usual May spot that they would have it in, because at least now that storyline can move a little bit faster
Yes, yes,
with the briefcase, right? So
yeah.
maybe that's a good move that they put out there. But listen, talking about big shows, the summer extravaganza called All In AEW show is this weekend from Wembley Stadium. Everyone's going to compare it to what SummerSlam did. Now, without looking at the card, do you think SummerSlam did enough to be the bigger show of the summer without knowing what we're going to see this weekend?
No.
No?
I think and the main reason why I think it was a mistake that they split the nights. You don't you're splitting too many nights. You're not making anything feel special anymore.
The one thing I've noticed about splitting the nights is, and I said this to you as well, Bear, is that night one is basically the pre-show. Okay. We looked at WrestleMania night two, we looked at SummerSlam night two, they were the show. The best shit happened on those two nights. I don't remember per se what happened on night one, per se. But man, I can tell you everything that happened on night two because it stood out.
And that's where I feel like the issue is it diminished your overall appeal for the shows because it's like, oh, I missed first one, who gives a shit? The second one, I'm watching that one. And I think that takes away from it that
Uh,
magic.
and at that point, it's a cash grab. That just shows TKO. In my opinion, it's just TKO's cash grab, right? Hate him or love him. And then I know it sounds, cliche, but Vince would never have done it. Maybe WrestleMania, but not the other shows,
Yeah, that
right? I can see
and
Mania being that way, sure, but not with the other two, not the other three,
and then they're about to do it with damn Royal Rumble,
which is stupid. What are we going to do? The main event for night one is going to be the girls. So are you
mm,
diminishing the girls then by saying, "Oh, you're night one only"? You know what I mean? Like it's just so many different angles that we can tear this apart from, but we're not going to get into it. Let's get into the card itself. We're not going to break down every match because there's just way too many matches here. Let's just pick on some of the big ones here. Let's get right into the main event. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Look, I'll keep it really simple here. Is this Kevin Omega or is this Kenny Omega's title reign or is this the coronation of Will Ospreay finally? And I believe it's a coronation. Some can argue, as we saw earlier, that it should be MJF in that spot. I don't think it's a problem having Kenny Omega there because the history is real there. And you said earlier, Professor, that most of the people, the 41,000 people in that arena already know the history between the two, which make it a bigger match. How do you see it?
Yeah, definitely. It's the coordination of Mr.
Osprey.
Will Ospreay, and I think it's going to be tremendous. You want a match that is remember. You look back at any of the big coordinations of a champion, and 9 times out of 10, you can tell, oh, I remember this spot. I remember this up and down. I remember the opponent. It was so you want that memorable person that helps
Mhm.
solidify you to taking the next step. Whether you like John Cena or not, you know who he beat to become John Cena.
Yeah.
The So you need that good opponent. Like I tell many people all the time, you're not a great champion if you don't have a great opponent to help make you.
There you go. There you go.
Styles matter.
All right. Perfect. So both of us are in agreement. This is the Will Ospreay show. Now, if
Yes.
they really want to swerve us, make them lose.
Yeah, man. Hey, if he lost, I everybody who talks shit about Tony Khan, I would tell y'all can kiss my ass now. He just played every one of us, and I love it.
Now, the interesting part about that, it's at Wembley Stadium. So it's also the night where all the soccer matches are happening. So if you have 41,000 people walking out of Wembley angry, and then you run into a bunch of Chelsea fans that are angry, and you run into some Arsenal fans that are angry, London's going to be a great place on Saturday night, man. I'm going to tell you right now. And I know the culture probably better than most people do, right? I've been to Wembley. I know what's happening in that place. Before that show even starts, half that crowd's going to be tanked,
Oh, of course.
right? So you're going to get the belligerent football fans in there, and they're going to be angry. I think what makes the show special, being in England, is the fact that that crowd is going to be on fire.
Love
Looking
it.
forward to that. Looking forward to that. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the matches, the card itself. I am. Don't get me wrong, but I think I'm more curious about how the crowd reacts to the show. Is if the UK crowd is quiet, then we have a problem.
Yes.
Okay, UK
Amen.
crowd, European crowds are never quiet.
Not at all.
They don't sit on their hands, man. Like, I'm going to be honest, we're going to go off in a little tangent here. I've been very fortunate in life to be in stadiums and arenas around the world for concerts, for games, for wrestling. I've been able to see it. And I'm going to say this honestly, and tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. North American fans suck ass. Generally speaking, North American fans are the worst fans in the world, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is if I can come home and I turn on the TV, and let's take hockey, for example, okay? And I don't see what the score is, and the crowd's completely quiet, sitting on their hands, and then they flash the score, and the home team's winning 6-0. Why aren't you guys yelling and screaming? Right? Whereas over in Europe, Liverpool can be down 6-0, and that crowd is going absolutely ballistic to get their team up and running. That's the difference I see in North American crowds and um, European crowds in terms of sporting events, not concerts. Concerts are a different breed completely. But when it comes to supporting their teams, the Europeans do it so much better than the North Americans do. That's just my take on it.
I think a lot of times we in North America, we're so spoiled that we're just used to certain things.
Dude, the best fans in North America are at the college games.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give it that. I'll say that. I have to incorporate that right now. The best, like Virginia Tech. I know you don't have to be a supporter of them or anything, but man, some of these things that they do when they have Enter Sandman and you got 80, 90,000 people just jumping up and down. And oh, what a sensational feeling, man. Like, I think in college sports, you get the fan base. In the other four major leagues, you don't get it.
Nope. That's so true.
Right. And even baseball, man, like I get it. It is what it is. But when the cricket crowds are louder than the baseball crowds, all right. I'm just saying, man. And, just like I'd wish our home team's fans would be louder and more supportive overall.
Yeah.
Now, what we get this Sunday can be absolutely garbage in terms of what they put on the TV screen. But if that crowd's into it, it's going to look great. How
Oh
many
yeah.
shows have you seen, Bear? I can tell you, I've seen many a show where the crowd wasn't into it, but the wrestling was phenomenal, but people didn't enjoy the show.
Yep.
Then we've seen shows where the crowds are completely just defying everything,
And
and you're
that
gonna and the
oh,
wrestling sucks, but everyone called it an amazing show.
yeah. They say it all the time, and it's so true. Crowds makes
The event,
matches.
it does, absolutely right. I mean, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I've been to many a Raw. I've been to many a SmackDown. I've been to pretty much every pay per view except. Oh, wait a minute. No, I have now. I have been to Royal Rumble. No, SummerSlam. SummerSlam's the only pay per view that eludes me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I've been to basically all the other ones. Everyone at one point or the other, I've been able to go to. And honestly, man, I tell you, like some of those shows, all the shows that I've ever gone to, I've actually never watched it on TV. I've never seen WrestleMania 26 on replay. I've never seen
What?
I've never seen 18 on replay. I've never seen 19 on replay. I never saw Survivor Series on. I don't know why. I just once I've gone to a show live, I don't go home and run home to watch it on TV. Never have.
I I I I can't say that. I'm that fan trying to find myself in the crowd.
Well, dude, it's even with our shows. Like, I'll be honest. Yes, I do all. We work together. We edit it. We put it all together. Once I post it, I don't go back and watch our shows.
I honestly I don't either. And it's not the main reason is I hate my voice. I hate listening to me. It's rare that I watch anything that I do
Mm.
because I just cannot stand my voice. So
See, I don't look at it from that perspective. Like I'm used to my voice now. I've accepted my voice, right?
no,
And after doing it as long as you and I have been doing this now, like that's the first thing. You just accept your voice. I think for me, it's like it's done. It's I'm looking at the next one. What are we gonna do for the next one? How do we, you know, top this or make it equal to the last one? That's all I look at that point. Because once I press that button, I've given us to the universe.
you're right. I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm done with it. It's time to move on to the next one. The only time that I ever go back and watch anything is if I've done an intro or I've made something or a graphic and I want to see how it looks. And then I'll turn it off. You know what I mean? And that's basically where it's at. But okay, let's get back into this. Like I said, we were going to go off on a tangent. We did, and we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the AEW All In predictions. And like I said, we're not going to pick every match here. We just did Osprey. He's going to be champion at the end of the night, unless Tony decides to swerve us. Let's move on to Edge and Cope against the Young Bucks. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think I'm going to stick to my guns. I think the Young Bucks win this match. And it just I think you're going to get the bigger pop with the Young Bucks winning.
I I think Edge and Christian will retain, and that will give the Young Bucks chance to set up the dream match between them and the New Day.
Okay, fair play, fair play. Do you see New Day coming out on this card?
Uh, on this match, no,
No,
but they
okay.
will be out, and I think they will. They're gonna team with Swerve Strickland for the 6-man match.
I think that's kind of already been hinted, right? Like throughout the
Oh
build
yeah,
up for all of it. I think that's
oh
the direction that they're going here. All right, so you're going with man, you're going opposite to me, and I'm the Canadian. Go figure, hey? I'm going for the Yanks, you're going for the Canadians. All right,
yeah.
that's
You think
beautiful.
they waste some time?
Hey man, and that's the beauty of wrestling. We don't necessarily have to be homers. Here's a match I
Exactly.
want to talk about that we didn't talk about on the other show. Now, I keep saying the other show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to check out Samp and Chance with Professor Bear. I call that Samp's podcast menage a trois, right? No homo, but it was what it was. I had my two best buddies with me, and I had to sit there in the middle of these two guys. And, it was a beautiful thing, but it was also a hard thing because I agreed with you and I agreed with him. And I had to figure out what I could do to make it fair for both my guys. But that's neither here nor there. We didn't talk about this match because I think this one's really, really interesting. And I'm talking Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Monet, AEW women title on the line. Does Bailey show up?
No, Bailey is uh Bailey is staying in WWE
You think so? Okay.
be, because they are starting to say her name all the time again. They wouldn't if they were going to write her out.
That's very true. I get that. And I know what you're talking about last night on Raw. Her name was mentioned, right? I get that completely. Twice, right?
That, that
Um,
was the last 2 weeks have been
last two
mentioned.
weeks, yeah. Okay, before we get into the match, let's just talk about really Bailey really, really quick. What's left for her to do there? There's nothing.
No, I, but sometimes people are just comfortable where they are
I
and
don't
want
think
to.
she is, dude. I don't think she is. Like a lot of the stuff that she's posting is really cryptic. She did this training montage video which had all in music in the background. All right. Maybe she's trolling all of us. Who knows, right?
Yeah,
It's like I said, and this is the one thing about wrestling that people don't understand. We have so many opinions. Why did Royce Keys come out? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is Tony Khan doing this? Why is this? Here's the thing, man, and I can't stress this enough. I wish I had a year inside of those locker rooms. I wish I had a year inside those boardrooms or those war rooms where they create all this stuff. Because quite frankly, we basically talk about assumptions. 90% of what we do is assumptions
yep,
because we don't know what's really happening back there. We don't really know what the story is per se. We only know is what we're being told, and we're feeding off of that. So is Bailey trolling us, or is there an actual fire there that we should be paying attention to? And if it is a fire, what's the one title that's eluded Monet since her whole run there? It's the main women's championship. She's won every championship from every indie promotion in North America to Japan to Mexico to Spain. You name it. She's been their champion for all these promotions. Over the last 6, 7 months, she's systematically being stripped of all her titles. And this is the only one that she's never won. This is her third shot at it now, right? Let's keep that in mind. Does
yep.
Bailey come out to support her and have her finally go over?
Bailey won't be there,
Okay, so fair enough.
but but yes, Monet is definitely going over. It you you've teased it enough. You set Willow in a great position. You build her up, but head to head, she's got the edge on Mercedes. She got to get that win back and on the biggest platform, and it will help draw more eyes to their women's division, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, when I look at this match like this, I look Willow represents the champion who has fought her way to the top, while you have Mercedes comes into this as the established superstar who believes she belongs at the top. And you saw that with the increasingly heated, interactions between the two. This is one match that's been really built up. I shit on AEW all the time about the lack of stories. The one thing that they do really, really good is build up the women's storylines, right? Like you know what you're getting in this match. You got
Oh
the
yeah,
happy-go-lucky Willow Nightingale who's worked her ass off. She's basically, is it now? I'm going to say something here that might just, be interesting or just blow everyone's mind. Is Willow Nightingale like a Dusty Rhodes to you?
yes.
Like the female version of Dusty Rhodes, the common woman, right? People can
That,
get behind her. Hey, I'm a 160-pound woman, but I can do it because I see Willow doing it.
hell yeah. And just her smile. I've seen Willow get her ass handed to her night after night,
Yeah.
but you never, never see her without that beautiful smile of
No,
hers.
right? She's a beautiful woman. And that's what I'm trying to get at. She represents all the women of just the little bigger size women's and whatnot like that. I'm trying to find the nicest way of saying this, Bear. But she represents that part of society, especially women,
Yes,
and empowering women. Like, we see the evolution, the women's evolution, this and that. But all these women are waifs, or they're attainable physically, but you have to put that work in. Anyone can attain it.
yes.
But Willow represents all the women that are trying and not to give up. Like if I were to ask my daughter to pick a role model, I would say try to pick Willow Nightingale because she represents more of what society truly is.
Exactly.
That all being said, and that's just some beautiful shit here. But I think it comes down to Willow being a credible champion, or is it just Monet because that's where the ratings are going to come from? Unfortunately, I think we live in an age of ratings, as you know, on Samp and Chance. I'm always inundated with ratings and ticket sales and everything else. So I think that's where we're going with that match, man. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I think, and honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing with this. They played it really well. Um, and then some setups you see coming and you know about it, but it's what they make of it that makes the matches great. They
Yeah.
could have easily phoned this in, could have just been blah the you blah blah. They have put stakes into it where it's like, damn, I want to see this match. I want to see what they do. And that to me is the draw to anything. And I would say this with Kenny and Will. We've seen it before. They've had matches, but they've put so much energy and draw to this. I got to see it. I don't care what else I'm doing. I am going to see this. And that's the kicker to any great wrestling show.
Fair enough, man. Okay, I want to talk about this match kind of quickly here because it kind of will determine what kind of evening Will Ospreay will have after he wins his title. And I'm talking about the women's tag team championship, Selena Cross, Megan Bain versus Alex Windsor or Alex Ospreay. I don't know which one is she, but Alex Windsor, the wife of Will Ospreay, and Jamie Hayter. You got three UK girls in this match, right? Lena being with Megan,
Yes.
and Hayter and Windsor, pure Brits. Okay. They dress up like, I don't know, remember in TNA when they had that British invasion,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
right? They have the same gear. They literally are dressing up as what's his name, man? Why The he's the general manager of SmackDown.
Oh, all this.
Nick Aldis, he was a part of that, right? Remember
Yep.
back in TNA?
Yep.
Like literally, that's what they are. Are we going to get that feel good moment that we've been talking about throughout this whole entire show? Do they get that rub too? Hater
Oh
and
hell.
Windsor.
Oh hell yeah. The main reason they kept them apart, they have no women's tag teams. They got a handful, and they made sure they stayed apart so this can be a triumphant moment to make another feel good story.
So
And
Sunday morning, do we get the photograph of them being naked, just wearing the titles?
I hope not, because I'm so sick and tired of all these damn wrestlers taking pictures naked with a title. Makes me just like I don't want to touch a damn title ever again.
It just makes you wonder what really happens with those titles when we're not on, when it's not on TV.
Man,
I'm just saying, man. And the dirtiest player in the game, he did some dirty. Like if you put a blue light to that 10 pounds of gold,
don't
I bet
man,
you anything that 10 pounds of gold only weighs only 5, but all the shit on it
man,
gives it
don't
the
tell
extra
me
5 pounds.
that after I held that title.
After this episode, ladies and gentlemen, tune in as we watch Professor Bear wash his hands repeatedly for the next 25 minutes.
If I don't, my wife will make me. So
That will
yeah.
be the Macbeth moment of it. Out damn spout, out damn spot. Yes, yes, we can bring in some Shakespearean into this as well, which ties in beautifully into the whole All In preview show that we're having here. So you and I are both in agreement. Windsor and Hater win the titles here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, we can keep going, Bear. Do you want to keep doing more matches?
Uh, it's up to you. I mean,
All right, let's do two more. Let's do two more
all
because
right.
they are kind of standout matches here. We don't want to touch everything. Let's talk about Darby Allin, Kevin Knight, falls count anywhere in the arena. And as I stated before, I've been at old Wembley and I've been to New Wembley. That's a big place to do a lot of shit, man. And the falls count anywhere. So this is not staying in the ring. Um,
Oh,
I always say shit's discombobulated in AEW, and you know what? I'm also very willing to say that this is a good storyline that we're getting into here. It's established. It's something I'm looking forward to. Um, Sting's son is involved in this now, and it's kind of interesting because he looks like Sting, doesn't he?
oh man,
When I
split
first
image.
saw it, I looked at him like, "Oh shit, what's Sting doing here? Why does he look so big? Like he looks good. What's he been doing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's his son." It's like he's the spitting image of Sting of '89 Sting, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
If he cut his hair that little brush cut and dyed it blonde, he would be a spitting image of his dad. We talk about nepotism. He just kind of quietly did his shit, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and
And who's
and
the
it's
bigger star, Sting or AJ Styles?
well, you know what? It was funny to me is once we talked about it before. It's it's not who your father is. It's how you go about building your own legacy.
And this is what I'm talking about here, right? Like, I mean, he's using the name Steve Borden, but if you're going to be really honest, outside of you, me, and anyone who does what we do, wouldn't know that that was Sting's son,
Yeah.
right? I look at another guy, Lexi King. He could have used a Pillman name to build his name.
Well, he did for a while, to
Well,
be
he did
fair.
initially, but fair enough. But he let it go, and he's trying to do it the other way now.
Well,
It
and
could be a
see here,
detriment as well to you, right? I mean, it could
yeah,
be
definitely.
an
It
honorable
definitely
thing to do, but it can also be a detriment to you at the same time.
because everybody expects you to be your parents. If look at some people have it and some don't. You can have a prime example of Ric Flair's kids. Charlotte, natural. David Flair, no. Reed Flair, no.
Well, we never got a chance to see Reed.
Well, Yeah, I
That's the
did.
unknown. That's the unknown. I can understand that. Okay, maybe it wouldn't have worked out, but again, because he never got the chance,
Well,
it's
on the
kind of
platform, yes, but he did wrestle,
yeah.
and that's the thing. I did see him wrestle. He wasn't going to be his father, and again, that's no. I mean, hell, you have so many different um wrestlers that could have been or did. Hell, a good prime example is Ricky Steamboat's son.
Yeah,
He would
Richie.
have been Richie would have been a great superstar.
No, he would, but he chose not to be.
Exactly. He got hurt.
Yeah. On the other
And
side, that Jimmy Snuka's kids, who would have thought Tamina would have had a longer run than his son?
exactly. And that's the thing. Just because you carrying a name does not mean you're gonna be able to carry your parents' legacy.
No, fair
It,
play,
it,
fair play. Now back to Kevin versus Darby, though. How do you see this being played? I just see this being a complete clusterfuck of a match, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. This is not going to be a wrestling match. This is going to
oh no,
be brutality. This is going to
car
be
crash.
hard spots, like really hard spots. At the end of the night, after every match, these are the two guys that are probably going to need to go to the hospital legit to get checked out.
Yeah,
Someone's getting a concussion in this match because if that crowd base is what I believe it to be, that's just going to fuel them with whatever they need to you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the adrenaline. Thank you. The adrenaline to just keep going. Right. If wrestling is based off of crowd reaction and called on the fly, we're gonna get a bloodbath here.
definitely. Um, I just see, in my estimation, I see Darby winning.
And I'm going to go the other way, brother, because if we want to see the up and coming talent to get their shine and keep getting better, then you have to keep it on Kevin because they've done everything with Darby. Darby's gotten every opportunity in the world. He's had every opportunity in the world. That you talk about a guy who hasn't had the rocket pack taken off his back. It's been Darby Allin, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that he hasn't worked his ass off to keep it on him, but it's time to let some of these other guys shine now. Because Darby's still going to be around for a long time, but if he's still around and there's no one there to fight with him, this is when Darby needs to step back and let someone else build their name even more.
I understand.
Because Kevin's coming in with great momentum right now. Why would you disrupt it? He can lose the title again and then another point, but you need to keep that momentum with him, in my opinion.
I think he's run. He's got the longest reign. He, I think he needs something else. Which
Kevin,
is,
Kevin, Kevin.
and I know that sounds crazy, but I think now let's get the TNT off of him and let's make him go to the international.
Okay, fair play, fair play. I mean, that's something there, but I don't think that international title will be something that he can look forward to anytime soon because on the same card, that match will be Kyle Fletcher defending his international title against the Japanese brothers in arms. One used to be the young boy, the one was the champion. I mean, within that match itself, there's two different storylines going on here, isn't it? We got Okada, Takashita, and Kyle Fletcher all vying for that international title. This could be really interesting because I think Kyle's going to win it only because either Okada couldn't stop the pin or they cancel each other out, giving Kyle Fletcher the victory. Your thoughts?
I think that I think Kyle and um I think Kyle and
Takashita?
no
Okada?
Okada are they're headed to a showdown themselves.
Okay.
I don't think you need the title for them to have this showdown. It's been building for quite a while. I didn't think Kushida had a long title reign,
Yeah.
and I think he could get the title back and have a, a better title reign. That's the way I'm looking at it. But I could easily see either three of the men winning. I
Mm.
think it's going to be honestly, I think it's going to be the match of the night.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
always put on great performances,
Mhm.
and that's one of the matches I'm definitely looking forward to.
No, as am I, as am I. And that why I believe Kevin Knight should stay champion, because just like you said, after this match, it's either going to be Okada and Fletcher, or we run back Takeshita and Fletcher. It's not going to end there at the end of the night. Um, Two built-in storylines, because all three guys were part of the Don Callis family. In fact, Okada still is, isn't he?
Okada and Fletcher.
That's what I'm saying. So you want to
And
talk about dissension?
see, that's where I think I mentioned in the other one, I could easily see them flipping Kyle Fletcher to a face and nobody expects it.
And I agree with that completely. But at the same time, wouldn't it make more sense to flip Okada? Because if he's near the end, do you want him to go out as a heel, or do you want him to finish as a face?
I I
It's right,
I,
right?
I agree with that, but the only reason why I would say flip Fletcher is because him and Knight have some history and they're gonna clash too.
Well, there you go. So there you got.
So there's so much built around this that they could go so many different ways. That's why I'm looking forward to it.
No, for sure. And here's another example of why Professor Bear and myself should be writing for this program. I'm just saying, dude, half the shit that we say eventually happens. I,
Yep,
I'm just, hey, we're just Professor and the Samp. What do we know?
exactly.
What do we know? We know a lot, and we know it's time to wrap this puppy up, because Mama T and the Marks, yes, they're ready, they're primed, they're ready to go. We have All In this weekend. We have NXT this weekend. We have Triple A this weekend. So there's no shortages of show. The last couple of weekends haven't given us much, which is kind of been nice, I guess, in a little way. But unfortunately for me, I got boxing every weekend. So when there's no wrestling and I just have to deal with the boxing, it makes my life a little bit easier too. But you know what? It's a beautiful thing, because when we don't get enough wrestling, then when we get it all in one shot, it's a beautiful thing. It's a
And
beautiful thing.
the next beautiful thing is the WSN app is coming on September the 11th. If
Yes,
you
sir.
feel like you don't get enough wrestling, well, we are going to change that for you.
Oh man, I tell you what, Professor, I've been playing around with the mobile app, not as much as I would love to, because other responsibilities, are what they are. But when I do get a chance on there, my favorite thing are the games. I love the game section, and I haven't explored all of them, because I'm the kind of person, if I get stuck on one, I kind of stand to that. So I haven't explored all the other games in detail, but man, that Jeopardy one, I love it. I can't get
I,
enough of it, because it's just so fun. It's easy. The app is easy. Navigation is easy. It's just
I have to
carefree.
I have to stay away from them because I have so much to do. I look up and I lost a few hours, so I try my damnedest not to get on there.
And this is the problem I'm having right now, between domestic duties, between what we do here, between what we're doing behind here, between what we're trying to create and build. We're really busy. So I get
Yes,
that completely. And I would love to spend hours upon hours on it. But at the same time, I'm the kind of guy, like, if I don't have to think about wrestling or boxing for 15 minutes, maybe I'll do something else. So I need to change that on my part. But from what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've been a part of, what I've done on that app, it's just so much fun, dude. You can't go
It,
wrong.
I promise you, even if you're not a big time wrestling fan,
Yeah.
the games will hook you.
Oh,
The
yeah.
it We're gonna give you such an amazing platform to have fun, to and offer something that, again, I'm not big into shitting on any other platforms
No,
or
no, no.
anybody who's doing stuff, but I will say we're offering something that no other platform offers.
Hey,
A
hey, and that's beautiful.
7 channel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and again, it's just not an app, Professor. You can watch this on your television too. If you have Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, the list goes on and on and on. I'm not sure about Samsung yet. Is it on Samsung as well?
No,
Have we?
it's gonna be after.
Okay,
We got Google,
yeah,
uh we got the Apple, we got Roku,
Roku,
and we got
Fire
damn,
Stick.
Fire Stick. Thank you.
Yeah,
Those definitely tested every one of them, and they're amazing.
yeah, and again, so we are providing this on every platform that we can possibly think of. So you have no excuse to say, "Well, I couldn't find it." Well, we just told you where it's at. There's everywhere. And everybody has
And
one of those things.
and uh, and I can do one thing announcement here.
Yes.
One particular promotion that we sign, you get to see their different things on, is CZW.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we
Wow.
have signed CZW,
Yes.
and that's just the tip. That's just
Amazing.
the tip
The
of what
tip.
we have coming. We have,
How many girls have I said just the tip? And you know what, man? If they enjoy the tip, you can only imagine how much you're going to enjoy the rest of it.
man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great thing. So keep your eyes glued. We are announcing partners.
Yeah.
Um, it, it, Again, we have some more surprises
Yeah.
that we can't wait for everybody to see.
Yeah.
So
Now we want you to check out the Samp and Chance page. We want you to check out Professor and the Samp. But go to the WSN Facebook page and you'll see all the promotions that are coming on board with us, all the indie promotions, all the around the world, Bear. This is just not North America, my man.
no,
We're
no, no.
talking global, okay?
We
We're
have,
global people. Global.
oh my goodness,
This is
we got
sick.
Germany. We got
And that's what I
we're in
believe.
talks with
Yeah.
Australia.
Australia, we got Singapore, I think, as well.
Um, we got damn, I said Germany. Oh, Ukraine.
Ukraine. Yes, yes, yes,
We got
absolutely.
Ukraine.
War
We got
torn Ukraine has independent wrestling people.
we
Wrestling doesn't
oh
stop for war.
Greece. We
Greece.
got Greece.
There
We
you go.
Again, we're still signing and still talking for promotions. Again, check it out. It's going to be great. We got three different platform price. We got the free, we got the $9.99, we got the $14.99.
Mm,
Again, you will be amazed on what we offer. So
right. And fans, people, forget the price points. Just join the app, get on there, and I guarantee you will end up picking one of the other packages because free is great, but let's call it free just the tip. Right? If you just want the tip, stick with free. But if you want to feel the full power of WSN, then it's there for you guys as well. But just join. That's all we want you to do right now is just join the app, subscribe to the app, create a profile, start throwing your comments out there. Let us know what you think because what you think will drive what we do.
exactly.
All right. And on that note, we're going to leave you with all that beautiful knowledge. My name is Bobby Sampson.
I am Professor Burr.
And we are Professor and the Samp. Ladies and gentlemen, not only are you going to find us on WSN, you will find a bunch of other great content. We have some other great podcasts that we're working on as well. Is that okay to say, Bear? I already said it. I can edit it out after if it's not okay to say. Right? We're working on different angles. We're coming at you with different podcasts from different perspectives that other people aren't doing. So that's what's going to make us stand out. We're going to give you content that other people aren't going to give you. We're going to give you access to promotions that other people aren't going to give you. We're going to give you wrestling at a global. You want to talk about WWE Universe? Well, welcome to the WSN Galaxy, ladies and gentlemen. I just said that. I don't know if that's going to stick, if that's something that we can work with, but let's call it this for right now. They're a universe. We're the whole fucking galaxy.
Yes, sir.
Professor and the Samp are out.
They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. One's a historian, the other loves to chant. They talk about the fights, all the slams and lights. It's wrestling mayhem day and night. They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. Their takes are quite insane, the wrestling world's their game. They break it down